happened like a long time ago. We're kind of late to
Yeah.
it, but
Yeah.
it's always fun to talk about because it was a big thing when it happened. Game of Thrones. So if you don't know what Game of Thrones is, I mean, you're like one of the few people. Well, there's a lot of people that actually haven't seen it because they don't have HBO, or they're like, oh, it's just a porno, blah blah. But it's more than a porno, I assure you. Uh, so Game of Thrones. I don't know how to say this, but I never saw it until about last month when like a couple weeks before it had its last episode, and I used my brother's HBO account, and
Nice.
I watched all the show, all 8 seasons in about a week and a half. And,
Wow.
Yeah, and it was the best week of my life. And I mean, not the best week, one of the best weeks of my life. One of the best times I ever had watching that show. And I don't know if that's a testament to how good the show is, or it's just a testament to how horrible my life is. But
I'm gonna go with great show. It's a great show, man.
But it was great. I enjoyed every bit of it except towards the end. But I mean, I don't know how else to talk about this. Let's just get into the finale.
Well, my Game of Thrones sounds a lot like yours. I didn't start watching it until like right before this the final season aired, like the summer before. All the coaches had talked about how wonderful it was, and like, oh, you'll love it, Dice. There's all kinds of fighting and stuff. And I'm like, okay. So I checked it out, and they were right. I loved it. It was such good storytelling, strong characters. It's a real flawless show for the most part up until the ending.
Oh my god.
So you go ahead.
So let's go ahead and talk about the finale. What do you think of just season 8 overall? What do you think of season 8?
It was too short. It was a little rushed. I know, like the first episode, like nothing happens. Basically, it's just kind of setting the stage for the Battle of Winterfell, if I'm recalling correctly. Or was that Battle of Winterfell was what episode? Episode 2, episode 3? 3. Okay, so those first 2 episodes were just kind of getting you ready. And I understand why they did it. You kind of have to do that. The Battle of Winterfell was epic. It was awesome. But only thing is, like, there wasn't enough people that died. I mean,
Exactly.
I just, the way it, like, Jamie,
he
Tormund, all of them, and Samwise was underneath a horde of them.
What is he doing in there?
Like, I don't know. And Brienne of Tarth was trapped against a wall. And like, God. Did those guys just like, we're just going to hold her against the wall here. We're not going to eat or kill her or turn her. We're just going to hold her here so she can't kill anybody else. So I don't know. I don't get that. I mean, I'm glad now. In the aftermath, I was like, oh, I'm glad multiple people survived. But then I got to thinking about it. More people should have died, I mean, it's just the odds were so against them. I mean, like, there was no way. I love Jon Snow is my favorite character. Probably, a ton of people's favorite character. Right, so. But that music when the Night King is heading to go to kill Bran is awesome. I immediately went out and found that song and downloaded it. Yeah. But so I'll be doing my milk route listening to that. But when Arya jumps and he catches her and she drops that blade down and gets him, I was like, oh!
I will admit that was
watching
epic.
It late at night. Late at night after my kids were asleep. I was like, yeah! I was like, oh, I gotta be quiet. But that was awesome. Again, I wish the death toll would have been a little more. Yeah. A little more. But I love that episode. Then, if it's about to go down with Cersei, when she kills Missandei, I was like, oh, that look on Daenerys' face. I was like, it is not gonna be good. She's about to burn y'all up. And she did. Daenerys kind of took a turn there. It was kind of expected.
It was definitely expected,
you kind of think all along from her journey for all the seasons that she's the kind-hearted princess that's going to rule. But she had that in her all along. I mean, she burned people left and right, and could be fierce. So I wasn't too surprised that it happened. But at such a grand scale, it was still I was still in a little shocked that she actually did it. I didn't
Yeah.
expect that to happen. Um, it was awesome because I was glad to see. I didn't want the Greyjoy dude to take down another dragon, but it was good. I was all good with that as well. But that last episode, man,
uh,
that did not do it for me.
yeah.
um, I disliked a lot of it. Obviously, Bran being the king was the stupidest thing they could have possibly done. I think. Um,
Yeah. I mean,
it just didn't make sense. Like, okay, John just killed Daenerys. He just stands there and waits, and then we time jump. How long did we time jump? No one tells us.
yeah.
And now they're taking advice from another prisoner that this is what we should do. We should do a democracy. Why doesn't all these other places claim they want to be a sovereign or whatever the North did? They want to be their own kingdom. A lot of it didn't make any sense. It's like they said, let's just wrap this up right here because we're ready to go home. And none of it. I'm not gonna say no. 90% of it didn't work. The John being exiled back to the Wall, seeing Ghost again in Tormund. I was really wanting John to be on the Iron Throne,
Yeah.
but seeing him get to go back to the North, I was pretty. That was probably the only finality that I liked
I
a
think
little
it makes
bit.
sense of him going to the Wall.
It did, and traveling back to the North, it was a good play back to the. Just making it go full circle, basically. So I kind of like that, and Arya going off on her own was pretty cool. I didn't like when Arya bounced during,
Yeah.
instead of going after Cersei. Yeah, and
What
then
was
the
the point
hounds.
of that?
I know, I was like, dude, her whole thing has been to kill Cersei, and she
Yeah.
just sprints off.
What? Oh
Um,
my God.
I don't know. There was so many theories that I'd read going into it that I was just hoping were going to happen. Like one of my favorite ones I read was, I'm trying to think. Basically, John had been killed or something like that, and because Sam had betrayed him. I can't remember how it went, but basically, Sam was kneeling in front of Daenerys, and she kills him, whatever. Or he asks the question, and she gives the quote, "A man has no face or has no name,"
Oh,
and it was going to be Arya disguised as
oh, that'd
Daenerys.
been so cool.
That would have been epic. And then another one I saw that would have been awesome. Obviously, Drogo's pissed off that that Daenerys died. So one thing I saw that John was on trial, and then Drogo comes flying in and just burns the hell out of him, And then as the flames subside, it's just John there standing there naked because his clothes get burned off, and it's revealed he's a Targaryen.
Oh my God.
That would have been awesome too.
I mean, but Drogo's dead.
Drogo?
Yeah.
Did I say the wrong dragon?
No. You mean is it
Drogon. Yeah,
I
Drogon.
think you
My
may call
bad.
Drogo.
No.
I
Drogon.
was like,
Drogon.
where
Yeah.
did he just come from?
No, it's my bad. Misspoke. Freudian slip.
Well, yeah, that'd been cool.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying now. The Khal Drogo thing would have been like a parody, but but the dragon thing, I can see that being pretty cool.
Yeah, that would have been awesome to see. But just Bran on the throne. Even like anybody but Bran would have been better. Like even Tyrion said, "Is there no one with a better story or something?" Like, yeah, literally everybody has a better story than him. Put Sansa on the throne. Put not Sam, but anybody other than Bran.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you think about it, the dude was basically absent for a whole season.
Oh my God, yeah.
So let's make him the king. I don't know. I don't get it. So, what's your thoughts?
Okay, so I agree with you on pretty much most of everything you said. Starting with the beginning of season 8. I actually think the first 2 episodes are the best episodes of the entire season. I truly believe that because they were letting it build, and they were having characters have character moments. That moment where Brienne Tarth gets knighted by Jaime is to me one of my favorite moments of the whole season. It was so much going on, some great character moments. I was so hyped for the Battle of Winterfell, and when it finally came, it was great in terms of like grand scale, although you couldn't really see anything that much.
Yeah, having not a great choice, I guess.
Yeah. But it was still cool anyway. The graphics, everything, and how.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I gotta tell you, I was upset that a lot of people didn't die either. I mean, there was literally everybody else dying around them, but the main
Mm-hmm.
somehow all survived. Sam should have died. I'm sorry. I know he had
Yeah.
to be alive to write that book, but come on now. There's no way he can just stand out there without even a weapon and just survive.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Brienne. I think it's okay she survived because that was pretty cool. Her writing the book about Jamie and stuff. That was pretty sweet. But I think Jamie should have died because his character arc was fulfilled when he decided
He dies a hero then.
yeah,
You know.
when he decided to do that. But then when he goes back to Cersei, I just hated that so much because it like negated his whole character for me, like what his whole arc. And I don't know. I feel like he should have died in that battle. I also think maybe Bran should have died. There's a theory. There's somebody who rewrote the whole entire episode that made it way better, and it was like Bran is actually the night. Was it the Night King?
Yeah.
He actually is the Night King. Like, what happens is like I forgot he goes like back in that time, and as he's like back in that time, one of those children like stab him through the heart, and he becomes the Night King. So it's really like the Night King is actually him or something like that. It was like really wacky, but it would have been
That would have been much better. Yeah, that would have been much better.
It would have been so
They
cool.
really made they killed him too easily almost too.
Yeah, I'm saying like he didn't.
It was awesome the way that she did it, but
And I mean, I like Theon's. I like his death. I thought it was a pretty good death. I mean, it was pretty.
I agree.
I,
Yeah.
honestly, though, I actually would have preferred maybe that he would have killed the Night King because I think it would have been more of a redemption for him. In a way.
Right.
But I mean, he still had a pretty redeeming arc.
Oh yeah, he fought off a horde of them basically. I like the Arya killing because it goes with that prophecy.
Yeah.
I just wish she would have finished it and getting the green eyed.
Yeah, like there's one.
Green eyed.
The pair I was missing from that. What? Like,
Yeah.
Were they just not gonna do anything about that? Like.
Yes, I was disappointed.
Yeah, I thought one of my favorite characters is the Hound, and I liked.
Oh yeah.
I liked his
Yeah.
thing in the season. I mean, he was pretty cool with him and Arya talking and stuff. Another thing in that battle though that really bothered me was how stupid everyone was. Like, you know how Tyrion, right? He's usually the smartest one in the room. I mean,
Yeah.
he just like was making the worst decisions, and him and Sansa decided to hide in that little tomb thing where there's dead people.
Yeah, that was
Like,
a bad idea.
That's it was such a stupid idea. I don't know. It just didn't feel. It didn't feel like the characters were acting like themselves almost sometimes. And like,
Yeah.
They decided to make all the what do you call it, the people that ride on horses and stuff.
Dothraki.
Yeah, the Dothraki. They decided to make them go out into the dark and just basically commit suicide.
Well, they had flaming swords. So,
That's true.
I mean,
But still, I mean, I don't know. It was just like their whole like position and everything. It just felt really off on how they would actually like strategize in a way. And
I think the 6 episodes is what hurt the show. And supposedly, it was the actors that wanted it to be 6 episodes just to get it done. The writers and directors wanted to go longer, but it came down to what the actors wanted. Is what I read. Now, granted, is that fact? Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm. Well,
What?
because the writers, what's their name? I forgot their name. But anyway, they're writing the next Star Wars trilogy, and
didn't know that.
Supposedly, people think that they just want to go ahead and get on with Star Wars. But also, it was told that HBO was actually allowing them to. They wanted them to do 10 episodes, or actually, they were even allowed them to do like a couple more seasons, and they said no. Like they turned it down. Like the writers turned it down. That's all the reports I've seen, and that made me really upset because I'm like, you easily could have done even like 2 more seasons out of that one. This one season could have been like 2 10-episode seasons at least.
Yeah.
There's so much material there. They rushed it just completely. This whole season could have just been about the Night King. Like it could have just been about facing.
Well, the way
north, you know?
the battle at Winterfell, it had to happen quick. I knew that was going to happen just because the way the previous season ended, they had bust down the wall, and the wall is not too terribly far from Winterfell, so there was no choice but to do that pretty early on in the season. Mm-hmm. And with it only being 6 episodes, like you really just had to wrap everything up so quickly. If it had been at least 8 to 10, they still could have wrapped up this season in a more profound manner. Even having the Battle of Winterfell in episode 3 like that, then it could have gone with the ramification of who's going to rule Westeros now.
Well,
So
yeah.
then you could have gone into more levels of how that was going to be, not just the way it came out. And then if they kept it the same way of, Cersei dying, Daenerys coming to the throne, getting murdered, then you could go, all right, after her murder, what's next? Instead of the stupid sanction of 8 people and say, let's have a democracy, basically, or Sam talking about a democracy.
Yeah.
I
agree
just,
with you.
So many different things they could have done to make it way better.
At least 10 episodes, man. They had, I mean, what is wrong with them? Anyway.
Yeah, they did us wrong.
I agree with you, man. The music, though, during that was like, dun, dun, dun.
Oh, yeah.
Dun, dun. That was pretty epic. I have to say, I enjoyed that a lot. That was epic. That was, I mean, in terms of like way it was shot and everything. I mean, perfectly shot. I mean, everything to me was like, cinematography.
It was beautiful. Yeah.
I mean, just incredible. I never seen anything like it in a TV show ever. I mean, it's absolutely insane that I was watching that in the TV series. I mean, it just the writing was not good.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of Daenerys' whole story arc. Okay, so I don't disagree with anything that happened at all. Like, even the Bran thing, I'm not even mad about that. The only thing that I'm mad about is how rushed it was and how, like, it... Because I feel like if they actually would have took the time and had, like, even, like, 2 seasons or even, like, had 10 episodes, they could have, like, slowed it out and showed you a little more that she was going a little more insane each time. But she just turned so quickly. I mean, it just felt so rushed. I mean, like...
Well, it did. It was rushed. I agree. But when you look at what she lost in such a short amount of time, she lost her another dragon, then she lost her best friend basically, and she had just lost her best protector. So losing 3 key members of her life in such a quick span is probably what did it. So again, I agree it was rushed, but it kind of made sense when you look at it in the losing more. Mormont, Dragon, and then Missandei.
But I mean, if you look at like other characters, like Arya, Jon, they lost a lot. They lost their father. I mean, Joffrey did a lot of things with Sansa, but you don't see them like massacring children with fire.
That's true. That is true. That is true.
But I don't know. It made sense. I wasn't even mad at it. I was just like, it just felt like it was all happening so fast, and I was just like, they needed to build it up a little more so it felt like, wow, like this actually got to this point. You know what I'm saying? Like the other seasons did. They did that. The other season did that very well, where it's like they were building it up, and then at the 9th episode, it would always be like something crazy happening.
Yeah.
And I felt like I don't know. It could have been a lot more epic if it was just paced out a lot better, I think.
I agree. And it was rumored that each episode was going to be like an hour and a half to 2 hours. Yeah. And that wasn't the case at all. The first 3 or 4 were only like its regular time length. So if they would have had longer episodes for those 6 episodes, that would have helped it as well. I think it just needed more time. Is I think the common thing that we're going to need more time to flesh out the story and the character arcs.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I like there's also some things I didn't like that happened in there. Like, to me, the worst thing that happened by far was Cersei and Jaime's death. That to me, that was the dumbest decision in the entire episode and probably the entire season. Just because, first of all, it was way too poetic for Cersei.
I wanted her to suffer.
Well, exactly, and also she just stood there and watched as Daenerys just burned everything, and I feel like she would have had the upper hand somehow. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least
I know she's a very conniving, plotting person.
I mean,
he wasn't prepared for that.
Look what she did in season 6 when she like blowed up that church. That thing. It was genius, and I don't know. It didn't feel like her. It was just weird. The whole thing just felt kind of off. It was really weird.
Yeah, that was it.
I saw this thing with this guy. He rewrote what would have happened for him, and he rewrote it in a way. And if you don't know his channel, his name is Hello Future Me. He like does a lot of writing videos about how he would have rewritten a lot of shows, movies, and like he has tips on writing different kinds of stories. But he rewrote this part of the story where basically Cersei was the one to blow up the city instead of Daenerys.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Daenerys wasn't gonna blow it up, but Cersei planted bombs everywhere in the city, just like the Mad King did. And you know how Jaime killed the Mad King, right? You know, like for trying to do that. And see, Jaime came back to stop Cersei, and she wouldn't do it. She was no way she was gonna stop. So what Jaime does, and this completes his character arc, is that he kills Cersei and the baby to save the life of everybody.
Wow.
And like, imagine how powerful that would have been.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been crazy. But they didn't do that. They went with like this, I don't know, it was kind of weird. Like, oh, Jaime, we'll die together. I don't know. It was such a weird thing for me.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't like that at all. I multiple people of us watched Game of Thrones at school, so we'd always get together, talk about it each Monday.
Yeah.
And like, I was like beating the drum for it. Jaime's going to be the one to kill Cersei. So that's certainly one of the disappointments of the season.
Well, probably my most disappointing thing for me that happened. And also, you know, we talk about the aftermath. I had a lot of theories about what was going to happen to Daenerys and everything. See, this is my first theory I had. My first theory was that there was going to be like a Red Wedding 2.0, where like, I don't know, there was going to be some kind of event happening, and then Arya is like there right next to Daenerys, and like she plans this whole mass murder of like all these people, and he kills Daenerys. I thought that was going to be one of them. I thought Sansa was going to be kind of like the head of it too. You know, because Sansa's learned a lot from Cersei when she was there with Cersei. You know, a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So she knows how to manipulate. Okay, like Sansa's not stupid. She's actually a really good. I actually ended up liking her a lot by the end. But,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought something like that was gonna happen. I also thought maybe Bran would have took the mind of Drogon. You know, like take his mind over.
Yeah.
And burn Daenerys. Imagine that. I mean, that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's a lot of things going on in my mind, and when it finally happened, I was just upset that Arya didn't even really do much. She just kind of went there and left, and you know, I was happy with the way that the Hound ended because he's one of my favorite characters. I absolutely love the Hound.
Yeah, he had a good story arc.
I love the way he ended up. Him and his brother both died in the fire and everything. You know, he is kind of symbolic because he was burnt. You know, his brother burned him and stuff. But
yeah.
They burned together, and I thought, you know, it would have been really cool. You know how, like, in season 4, when you thought the Hound died, and he asked Arya to give him mercy to kill him. Arya didn't do it because she didn't like him, and she didn't. You know, he was on her list. But see, now, I mean, I feel like it would have been really cool as if like the Hound had killed his brother, and he was dying out, bleeding out, about to die. And he says, "Please, you know, Arya, like, do it." And then Arya actually does it, and like,
that would have been better.
That would have been so cool. I mean, like, think about the full circleness of that. Like,
so many different things could have been so much better.
I mean, so much better. Now, I will say, I actually kind of like Bran being king.
Oh,
like,
gosh!
Look. Okay, Bran,
I'll hear you out.
Absolutely worst character in the entire series by far.
Yeah.
Bran is the worst. Every time he comes on, I just want to skip the scenes because it's just that bad. But it does make sense for him to be king. I think when Tyrion was talking about it and about how, you know, I mean, we need someone who doesn't have like an agenda in a way. You know, Bran doesn't have an agenda, and he can see the future kind of, and he can't really see the future, but he can, like, you know what I mean? Like he knows certain things,
right,
about everything. Basically, he's basically a history book, a living history book, and I think it makes sense to use him, you know, as a king. But it's also like a democracy in a way that it's not just him; it's Tyrion also, like, you know, doing things mostly and different things. But I will say, you know, I mean, I understand why people will be upset. When it first happened, when they said Bran was king, because I read spoilers and it was a rumor that was going to happen, and I was like, no way. I thought it was like a joke. I was like, there's no way Bran's going to be king. Then it happened, and I screamed. I was like, no, please don't. And, and I learned that it was okay. I mean, like, I understand why he's king, and I'm not really that mad. But I think there are some better choices, maybe Sansa. But see, Sansa wouldn't want to be the hand of the throne because she wants the North to be a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, she wants to unite the North. So I think that makes sense for Sansa. I actually thought the best choice would have been what's that dude's name? He was the son of Robert Baratheon.
Gimli.
No, Gimli's the dwarf of Lord of the Rings.
Oh, God. It's gosh, what's his name?
It's
It
like
starts. It sounds like that. Gendry. Gendry.
Gendry, yes,
Gendry.
Gendry.
I was
Gimli.
close. I was close.
You're close. You're close. Uh, yeah, Gendry. I thought he would have been
Gendry.
actually a really good fit.
Yeah.
Think about it. He's actually he has the name, and he's earned it. I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
he hasn't done a bad thing. He's a good person. I don't know. I feel like he would have been a good king. So
I was really rooting hard for John. Just
I was too.
it just would have been too happy of an ending of it,
Yeah,
I
I mean,
guess.
First of all, I don't think John actually wanted it. I mean, his real name is Targaryen, but
He's a Stark.
He's a Stark. There's no way. I can't see him like being happy ruling. I don't think he would be happy doing that. I think the most happiest he would be is being with the North folk. That's who he is.
Yeah,
You know,
King of the North.
King of the North. I feel like
He's always my King of the North.
yeah, exactly. So I feel like that's his happy ending is being with the North. Now, when they said you go into the Night's Watch, I was like, no, okay, hold on. First of all, the wall is destroyed. Okay, they don't need a Night's Watch.
Yeah, there's nothing out there to watch anymore.
Exactly. So when
The wildlings are either dead or in the watch already.
Exactly.
And then all the walkers are dead.
So when they said that, I was just like, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Why would you send them to the wall? But then once I saw him going like past the wall and with the North people, the North folk, I was happy. I was like, that's a happy ending for Jon.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Jon Snow belongs being free and away from all that political mess.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that was a good ending for him. I think Arya had a pretty good ending. Her heading west. I actually think that's going to be like the new show, like the spinoff they're going to do. I feel like it's going to be Arya heading, what is it, west? I think she said, because no one knows what's past that point. So
yeah, what's west? What's west of us? Or
yeah, what's west of Westeros? That's what she said. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be interesting to see her. Now Sansa was pretty good. It was a pretty good ending for her. I think they were all right. I mean, it was okay endings, but what made it not as good was how rushed it was. And, like literally in the episode, Jon kills Daenerys so fast. Like he kills her. You there?
Yeah, I'm there. Yeah.
Make sure. He kills her so fast to the point where it's just like he's in prison, he gets out, he kills her. No, wait, no, he's not in prison. Never mind. I said that completely wrong.
He kills her prison,
Yeah.
and then they ship him to the wall.
He kills her like that. Like he makes the decision so fast.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Like it was just crazy to me. Like usually an episode or even like that would have happened in the regular seasons. They would have done that probably like episode 6, 5. And like for like a couple episodes, it's just showing like what they like after he kills him, like what are we gonna do about this, blah, 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 like, or even it building up to him killing her. Like I feel like it would have been a decision he would have had to really think about. And he made it. I don't know. It all happened really fast. And I feel like if it would have been paced out a lot more, it would have been a lot more of an impact on us instead of it being kind of a joke.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think that's the big problem with all of it was the rushness of that final season. Just doing it in 6 short or 6 regular length episodes, basically. I know there was, I think 3 of them were maybe an hour and a half or close to that, but you probably needed let's see, probably 12 hours worth, so or 10 to 12 hours worth to tell the story properly. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, I completely
agree. But overall, I still give it high marks. It's a good show, but when you think about it, what great shows have ended with a season finale that everybody liked? When you look at see, I don't know that. I was like, I was gonna
by far.
Real.
It was gonna be this one, but then when they ended it with the crap season finale, it didn't make the mark for me. But I'm telling you, like Avatar, like people think about it and they're just like, oh, it's a Nickelodeon animation. I'm telling you, best story. It's only like 3 seasons. It's about like 30 minutes each episode. Best. Like you can ask anybody that has watched it, that never said anything bad about it. And the season finale to me is the most satisfying season finale like ever. I mean,
Wow.
you have that, and you have Breaking Bad was pretty satisfying too. And see, Game of Thrones would have been probably to me the best if it would have stuck the landing, but it didn't stick the landing. So
Yeah, it was a crash.
It goes second, which is still pretty good. I mean, in its prime, it was Game of Thrones was. I mean, I ain't never seen anything like it.
Oh yeah, it was head and shoulders above any kind of television program up until that final season.
Yeah. I mean, what was your favorite season?
Oh, man, there's just so many good ones. It's hard to pick just one. I know that what season was it had the Battle of the Bastards?
Oh, season 6.
Season 6, I think that one's probably my favorite one.
That's mine too.
That was awesome.
So that's your pick?
Yeah, I think I'd go probably season 6.
Yeah, I that's mine too. I think the Battle of the Bastards to me is my favorite episode of all Game of Thrones by far. The whole leading up to that point where it was like, Jon united the North together, getting the North together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, God, see, I haven't seen the show in forever now. I forget everything.
I know, yeah.
The jerk, I hated him so much. He was the worst person. He was worse
Ramsay
than Cersei
Bolton's, the Boltons.
Yeah, the Boltons. Ramsay Bolton. Like,
yeah.
I mean, like, to get everybody together. Like, I first of all, I was like, this is gonna be so epic if he gets everybody together. Then he got everybody together, and then that battle just happened. And I when I first watched it, I was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that was like that wasn't TV caliber stuff. That was movie stuff.
I agree.
I haven't seen stuff like that since Lord of the Rings. Literally, like the battles like that. Like the horses were flying in the air. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, and then the Arya stuff was really cool. Her trained, to be a faceless person.
Yeah.
The man has many faces. That was great. I love that.
Pretty awesome.
That whole season was great, and there was no Bran. I don't think was it, or
was that the Bran?
No, I think Bran was season 5 was when he was in.
Okay,
actually,
that was a good season too.
Season 5 was all right for me.
Nah, I was just saying that because you said no Bran.
Yeah. But I mean, the stuff with Bran in season 6 actually wasn't that bad because at the very end with Hodor, you know what I'm talking about? Hold the door. That hit me. That hit me.
I agree. Okay.
That hit me, man.
That
was one of the best parts of all Game of Thrones to me was that. The whole. Oh man, that was great writing. I don't know what happened.
That was. I agree.
But that was.
I got tired.
That was some greatness right there. I'll never forget that. So I mean, yeah, I think season 6 to me is just the most epic. If I had to say another one though that is actually close to that, would be season 4.
Yeah, which one was season 4? They all kind of bleed together for me.
Okay, season 4 is when Tyrion kills his dad.
Okay.
The mountain kills that Viper dude. I mean that.
That was pretty cool. Yeah.
And he kills Shay. You remember Shay?
Yeah.
He kills her.
Yeah.
God, that was so sad too when he killed her. So many things happened in that season too. Yeah, that was a season of Tyrion for me. But that was a great season. I love that season a lot. It had a lot of epic things happening, but it was more political than season 6. The things that happened were more political, but it was shocking moments nonetheless. And also, what did you think of the earlier seasons? What did you think about
it? Like season 1 kind of started off a little slow at first.
Yeah.
But I was like, everybody says it's amazing, so let me just watch it. It kind of, there was parts of it that lagged on, but then there was parts that were, so awesome. The shockingness that some of it was, the killing of Ned Stark.
Oh,
like how do you do that? That dude's the lead character. The best character on the show. His capital was dictated. So it was. It gets you. Like even in episode 1, it's kind of going a little slow, and then at the end when Jaime pushes Bran out the window, you're like,
that got me.
This has got me.
It had me very interested after he got pushed down. I will say that.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, the incest was like, I was like, okay, this show's different.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that one.
But that, history wise, that
that
was a
happened a
thing that
lot.
was there. You had, some of the famous ruling families like the Hohenzollerns. They died out because of incest, basically.
Yeah, and if there's
So,
anything I learned from your classes is that there's some weird people in history, man. I
yeah,
mean, Catherine the
yes,
Great, I mean, horses. I mean, come on
yeah.
now.
I'm glad
That's
that
some.
stuck with you.
Yeah, that's one of the main things I remember too from your classes.
you know,
Catherine the
did,
Great.
did- they're gonna do. I don't know if it's HBO or Showtime, but they're coming out with a Catherine the Great
Oh
show,
man.
and I think Helen Mirren is Catherine the Great.
Oh really? Oh,
yeah,
I have to watch that now.
yeah,
Since I
yeah.
know what happens, I have
Yeah.
to watch
Well,
it.
that was a rumor. That was
Well,
not true.
true,
Remember?
true.
Yeah.
It was a rumor. I don't think she actually died from doing a
No, she
horse.
died of stroke. She died of stroke.
Yeah, but still, I wonder how they're gonna handle that.
Yeah,
No,
yeah. It should be interesting. I'm anxious to see that.
me too. I'm gonna watch that for sure. Uh, but yeah, that was one of the things that got me was like how different it was and how like it wasn't pulling any punches
Yeah.
at all. Season
Nothing like
three.
that's been on TV before,
Oh
basically.
no! I mean, Game of Thrones is like revolutionary in terms of TV. I mean, we never seen anything like that ever. Um, Also, another thing, season 3. You remember the Red Wedding?
Oh, yeah.
That
Yeah.
okay. I've
Oh
always
man,
heard of it, but when it actually happened, that was crazy. That was
that was.
oh, I can't even
Whenever
explain.
when that went down, and then it was, you almost thought it was something happy was about to happen,
Yeah,
because that's Arya and the Hound. It was arriving there right about that time, and she was going to get back with her mother, but no, it did not.
she was
It
so
was,
close to getting to her mother, and her mother got her throat
man,
slit. Like,
still one of the best parts of the entire show
oh my
was
gosh.
when she gets her revenge on the Frey
Oh, in
family.
season 6, it was at the
Yeah,
ending of season 6 too.
yeah,
That's another thing that made season 6 so good was that too. When she's like, tell what she said,
that
tell
winter
the
is coming.
winter came
Yeah, winter came early or
and
something like
Stark has
that.
come for House Frey, and I was like, oh, he said winter came and is coming for House Frey. And I was like, oh, oh, oh. I was,
Yeah, that was
oh, that
awesome.
was crazy.
Now, is it season 7? I guess. Yeah, I think it's season 7 when the
Yeah,
John and them traveled to try and
beyond the wall.
capture a. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that
then
was season
the
7.
dragon dies, and they drag him out of the water,
Yeah,
and he, one of the last scenes is his eye turns blue, and you're just like, oh boy,
that
this
was pretty. That
this
was
is
pretty
gonna
sick.
end poorly. This ain't gonna be good. So
I
that was
actually liked
pretty
that
awesome
episode.
too.
Season
Yeah,
7
that's
was
one of my
alright
favorite
for
ones.
me. It was kind of alright. It had some miss moments, but also had some good moments.
Yeah,
It's better than season 8 for me. But
yeah.
I like that episode when they go beyond the wall and like not
It's a,
Drogon, but the other dragon. Um,
is it Viserion,
I,
Viserial,
I think
or
it was.
Rhaegar, or what is it? I can't remember the names of those dragons.
I don't remember. I only know Drogon.
Yeah,
But yeah, yeah. I think season 3, season 4, and season 6 were to me the best. Season 2 was pretty good. It was alright. Had some good. I mean, look, season 1 through 4 to me was just a masterpiece. Season 5 was okay. Season 6 to me was the best. Season
yeah,
7 was alright, and then season 8 was just horrible.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. I think we're pretty close to the same agreements on this.
yeah,
Yeah, great show though.
great show.
Overall, great show.
Great show. At its peak was one like the best, one of the
The
best.
best. Yeah.
Avatar to me is still the best show.